First of all, good morning. I was very happy to see that there was only coffee and tea and orange juice, okay? So whoever is driving after this meeting should be okay. Well, joking apart, first of all, once again, a very good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. It is a subject which is topical. We tend to make a push about it around Christmas or New Year because we tend to think that consumption of alcohol is mainly during the festive season, but I think it's an issue which we must look out after all the while. Last year, we launched the first alcohol policy, the first national alcohol policy. I'm informed that it took some time in the coming, but at least we have made a step forward. We tried to consult as much as possible, and the main drive is to identify the harms that result from alcohol use, and I would say more importantly, what interventions can we make in order to have to impact these harms. As a policy, we took three different, viewpoints, and the policy is accordingly divided into three sections. It talks about zero tolerance in the case of adolescents, age 17 or under, the harmful use of alcohol in adults, and of course, the section which is most relevant to today's meeting, and that is drink driving. Its main three pillars provide for 23 actions, which should, or hopefully should, make us tackle the main issues in question. I would dare say that all three have an impact, directly or indirectly, on the issue of drink driving. I will start first, for example, talking about preventing alcohol use in teens, something which I think culturally we tend to accept without making too much fuss about. Obviously, restraining alcohol use when one is young should induce that same person when he is older to keep away from alcohol. The same is excessive harmful drinking in adults, which again reduces the possibility, or rather the probability, of drunk driving. And finally, the issue of drink driving percent. As I'm sure you are all aware, the BAC level has now been reduced from 0.8 to 0.5, which is 50 milligrams of alcohol per 100 milliliter of blood. Roughly, it is equal to about 2 beers or 2 glasses of wine or 2 shots of drinks. It is true that you can find someone who can take alcohol better than others, but this limit, if you like, is acknowledged that on average, after more than 2 drinks, the person involved will start having visual and timing abilities. In fact, we had done this, lowered the level, if you like, before the policy was in fact promulgated. In the case of professional drivers, we have gone for a no tolerance whatsoever, and drivers of buses, coaches, taxis, and the rest, whose main profession is that of driving, are not allowed to drink at all. If I can say just one sentence with a political tinge, we didn't get too many claps about, rather than we faced, political uproar, to put it that way. Well, we come to the crux of all issues in our country, I would say. We have the best laws, we have very good lawyers, excellent judiciary, but we tend to lack on enforcement. And that is not only in this field. I think it's part, again, of our Mediterranean culture, where we tend to, okay, you go around the rule if you don't break it out, right? But it is something which depends a lot there, and where I have the main focus there has to be on education, or rather than just enforcing the punishment. Well, we have put up an interministerial committee under our ministry to see that this policy will be implemented, again, with the aim of putting the direction in the right place. We're also going to monitor these actions and see how the results will compare with our required outcomes. Well, one action which one could take, maybe. I'm not saying that this is going to be done, I'm just saying what might be done, is, for example, that breathalyzer tests would become obligatory when there is a serious injury or a death. I dare say, if you have nothing to hide, why not do it? You know, it's like when you pass through an airport and they send you to a check and a check and a check. Well, if you're okay, it takes some time, but it makes you feel safer. And it's the same basic underlying thought. And that is something which we should push, and which I believe would put even the person who is the driver himself, if we put that aspect of deterrent. I mean, the war, this Third World War, has never come because it has depended on deterrent between the two major powers. Well, maybe we can make more enforcement as a deterrent in this case. We can also think about what happens in Europe, what are called sobriety checkpoints, where there's no accident, there's no nothing. It's like you're going through, and there is a police car mainly, or police officers who will do breathalyzer tests, not because there is an accident, not because there is a fatal injury or something like that, but just to ensure that adhesion to the law is in place. Well, I would say one thing which is, I think, is true with all policy measures. It cannot be a standalone. We must work, first of all, interministerially, which we do, both with the ministry, which falls under Honorable Ian Borch, the same with the Justice Ministry, Owen Bonnici, and even outside government, one needs cooperation at the least. Education, for example, direction. We have certain programs in place, but I think we can, and I would say we should enhance. There is a program particularly which is called BABES, which deals with students mainly who are in the primary range, but that is something which we can do. The public, one needs the public's cooperation always and everywhere. And then I would say the final issue would be there, definitely law enforcement and insurers yourself. As I was coming in, I was shown what you could call a breathalyzer test, but which is very handy. Well, why not invest in, we can take up maybe initiative, invest in something which is very good and which, well, one pays a license, or pays the insurance, you send the pocket, with the pocket one can send maybe one of these breathalyzer tests. Okay, in conclusion, I would just like to thank you once for inviting me to be here, and I really look forward, and I mean it, that we are an open door, receptive, all our different, if I may say, ministries are very receptive to this issue. We have taken bold steps, which didn't do us very much good politically, but it did the country good. And we really look forward to hear from you and to cooperate with you all. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Thank you.